Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Resilience Talk Network. It's your morning Kickstart, and I'm Brad.
And I'm Jay.
And we're here to give you a motivational quote right off the bat. Jay, roll with it.
Okay, one of my favorite authors and philanthropist, Earl Nightingale.
Yes. Oh, I love Earl.
Earl says, never give up on a dream just because of the time it will take to accomplish it. The time will pass anyway. And this relates to a lot of quotes we've had that the time's going to go by. You might just as well do what you want to do, dreams of doing, just instead of sitting in front of the TV or other things, learn, do something, find your dream and spend the time doing it, because the time's going to pass one way or another.
Right. Absolutely. So yeah, take advantage of, work on it no matter what. That's what I always say, because you never know. It's like, Jay, look, why don't we just quickly share, our story here with the radio station. When we first started out 2.5 years ago, I mean, what was it? We each did a couple of podcasts and we put it on the station, and there's 168 hours in a week, guys.
Yeah. I can't talk for 168 hours.
No, but we let them repeat and repeat and repeat. And guess what? Then we added commercials, and both of us were working full-time jobs, other things we had to do in order to keep things afloat in our families and stuff. But we just devoted what time we could. And there were some Saturdays or days of the week where we were able to get in there in the studio and bust it out for 8 hours and just really get some material put on there and keep designing the station, get the artwork for the station. There's just been a lot of things. But if we'd have waited for the money or the right time and all this stuff, we wouldn't be where we're at today. Hopefully people understand that.
No, we're learning from the good things and from the bad things and our mistakes and our successes. Mm-hmm. Part of what is creating this morning Kickstart is what we've learned.
Yeah, absolutely. And so here we are. But your tip for the day, this is another question that was sent to us, and this is by a gentleman named Jimmy. We're only doing first names for right now until people start to learn a little bit more about us, and then we'll start using some last names with their permission and stuff. But right now, Jimmy called me about a previous episode where we had talked about why only 5% of the people in the world get what they want out of life while the other 95 don't. This is a common theme that you're going to see in self-help books. Well, when I was younger and reading that, I wanted to know what the top 5% did. And I was just confused at how they came up with that number. And this is something that Jimmy said, similar to how I felt back then. He said, how do you justify those numbers that you're giving? Because 5% of the people out there aren't multimillionaires, Brad. They're not swimming in money. And I said, okay, let me put some clarity on that. So let's clarify it right now. I didn't say that they were all going to become multimillionaires. I said that they were successful at what it is that they're doing, and they were happy. And so let me break the numbers down even further down, because this is what I realized when I was working in the insurance business. Because these numbers, when I first saw them, I was like, oh man, I can't believe them either. But then when I saw this, now get a load of this, the numbers I'm going to give you here. Now, this is, keep in mind, I did these numbers a long time ago, but I'm pretty sure once I update them, they're going to be very similar. But when we talk about this, let me put it in simple terms. Let's take 100 people, all under the age of 25. And people under the age of 25, when we were there, how were we? We were pretty optimistic about the future. We thought, this is it. We're going to take this whole world by storm. I'm going to go to college, or I'm going to invest in some companies and things like that. And things are going to happen for me, right? Yeah. Well, let's take a look at what happens to those 100 people between the time they're 25 and they're 65. Okay. Well, first of all, out of 100 people, 32 of those people will be dead before the age of 65.
Really?
Yep. So when we talk life expectancy and all of that, there's a lot of people that live to really high ages, which kind of average things out. But yeah, look at the obituaries. Don't take my word for it. Look and see how many people are under the age of 65 when they're passing away. But here's the critical thing that I discovered as well. And you can turn to the American Psychological Association or the American Medical Association to find this out. Almost 70% of insurance claims are stress related. Okay, so 22 out of those 32 didn't necessarily need to die, but because their stress levels are so high, that's when the heart disease comes in. That's when the diabetes comes in. That's when all these things start to happen to us that cause us to pass away at a very early age. Okay, but that's sad. 32 out of 100. But then out of that same 100, one will be rich. And at the time I put these numbers together, rich, according to the government, was having a net worth of $1.2 million. So that included your house, your car, and everything else. Well, there's a lot of millionaires out there right now because they have $1 million houses, right? But anyway, one will be rich. Four will be financially independent. In other words, they don't fit quite that rich category, but they're comfortable. They've worked their 40 years. They've got a pension. And they've got money coming in. They tabulate that with their Social Security and just other little odds and end things that they're doing, and they live a comfortable life. Those are the ones you see driving in the RVs cross country and doing a lot of traveling after they retire and all that in there. So that's what I mean. That's where that 5% is. But if you want to finish out the numbers, 5 will still be working after the age of 65. Well, that number's changed. I do know that. That's up to 7 now. 7 out of the 100 will be working past their past age 65. When you go into Walmart, what's the first thing you see?
Welcome to Walmart. Get your stuff.
It's generally somebody elderly because they still need to work to make payments. But now this is the saddest fact of all. And this one can be crushing. The remaining 58 people out of the 100 are broke. Now, that doesn't mean they're out on the streets pushing a shopping cart. It means that they're heavily reliant on Social Security, other government programs, maybe religious organizations, or other family members to make their bills. Okay. And for you to sit there, for us to sit here and ask, gosh, what happens? Well, guess what? We're in a time that people have dreamed of for centuries, to have a time like this where there's so many opportunities for us to make wealth if that's something that you want. And there's so many ways, but again, what stops us? All the things that we've been talking about for the past 5 or 6 weeks. You get those fears, you get the ideas, and you don't know what to do, and you don't follow through on them and everything. Well, it goes back, and I'll just summarize it with this. The reason the top 5% in the world get what they want out of life is because they have focus. They know what they want and they go for it. Go back and listen to the 10 mindsets of a winner from a couple of weeks ago. What these people are doing, the top 5%, they're doing those 10 things consistently, and that's what makes them who they are. Yeah. So I want to give you that challenge there. So anyway, that's our tip for the day, Jay. Just answering Jimmy's question there. Hopefully that makes it more understandable, Jimmy. And if you have any other questions, you can get a hold of me in the same manner you did on this one. So let's go for our fun fact for the day.
Okay, let's do that. Today, April 28th, is a special day, a day I really enjoy. I didn't know about it until I found this fun fact, but guide dogs provide opportunities for social interaction and greater independence for legally blind adults. International Guide Dog Day pays tribute to the dogs who do this impressive work. Guide dogs help the visually impaired make their way through the world while offering love and comfort in so many ways. References to guide dogs date back to at least the 16th century, which is kind of surprising to me.
Yeah.
So for hundreds of years of service that these faithful companions have provided, we say thank you on April 28th.
Yes, thank you. All righty. Well, that's your Kickstart for today. We hope you've learned something. Again, if you have any questions, you can email us. Our email is down here in the show notes, and it's also on streaming across the bottom from time to time. But you can get a hold of us at info@resiliencetalk.com. That's info@resiliencetalk.com. But anyway, look forward to another great show tomorrow. We'll see you then.